hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Awkwardly Acceptable Podcast. I am your host, Camera Brielle. Now, I know it has been a smooth 30 days, bro. It's probably literally really been a month since I came here with the podcast for y'all. Honestly, I don't know, but I want to look it up. I feel like it's been a smooth month, okay? And I know that I disappeared, suddenly. If you watch me on YouTube, then I've been making videos, but my podcast took a little bit of a backseat, which I'm okay with. We will just call this season 2. This is season 2 of the Awkwardly Acceptable Podcast. So I want to welcome you all to this. Oh, it was 24 days ago, not 30. Damn. Anyway, welcome. Well, if I would have done it on a Thursday, then it would have been 30 days. So let's just call it a smooth 30, okay? Welcome back. I am your host, Camera Brielle. I missed y'all, okay? I missed y'all. I can't even remember my script of what I say, okay? I do want to thank our sponsor, AirMac Records. Please visit AirMac Records. It is a digitally based record label focused on collaborative methods with independent artists. Make beats and sing songs. Please visit AirMac Records to hear more. And honey, if you're listening, I will put Where You Belong on my website today, okay? Because I'm so sorry. Anyway, the Awkwardly Acceptable Podcast will be playing one song by an AirMac Records artist, but my window is open, so I don't want you all to hear the fuckery that may be going on outside, okay? Now, the thing about the Awkwardly Acceptable Podcast is I wanted it to be about things that I am, compassionate about. And since I'm compassionate about things, I don't think that the Awkwardly Acceptable Podcast will always be sunshine, roses, and flowers, okay? I do talk about things that I won't talk about in my videos and things that are a little bit controversial, okay? But it's my opinion, so I don't really care. Someone's starting their car up outside. I hope you all cannot hear that, okay? So this is a very heavy episode of the Awkwardly Acceptable Podcast. We are going to be talking about 2 topics. I wanted to talk about a third topic, so if we have time, we will be talking about that. For about a month, the Awkwardly Acceptable Podcast will have more of a, I don't want to say laid back feel, but it won't be as structured as the first season. Yes, bro, we're in this whole second season, okay? But I will be back to that structure very soon. Don't you worry about me. A quick background. I just been out, living life. School. I got my first certificate. I then immediately went back to school, so I'm in school now, studying to get my social media marketing certificate, and I should be done with that at the end of this year. And maybe I'll just take a break, but I probably won't, because that's not something that I do. So, like I said, we are going to be discussing 2 heavy topics. We are going to be talking about, what is her name? Renee Bach, okay? Renee Bach is a white woman who went to, where did she go? She went to Uganda. She's a U.S. missionary, and she has no medical training. She left Virginia in 2007 and she went to Uganda. I got this from news1.com. And by 2012, she founded a private NGO and healthcare facility called Serving His Children. She allegedly led people to believe she was a doctor, and 100 babies have reportedly died around her fraudulent care. Okay, isn't that great? Isn't that great? AllAfrica.com claims she took children with malnutrition from local hospitals and treated them at Saving His Children, and she is now being sued. 2 women named Gimbo Zubida and Kaki Rose, alongside civil society organization Women's Pro Bono Initiative, said in a press release the mothers alleged that they were led to believe that Miss Renee Bach was a medical doctor and that her home was a medical facility, as she was often seen wearing a white coat, a stethoscope, and often administered medication to children in her care. Okay? However, when their own children died, it was revealed that Bach had no training in medicine, and that in 2015, the district health officer had closed her facility and ordered her not to offer any treatment to any child. They accused Bach and her organization of causing the deaths of hundreds of children, amounting to violations of human rights, including violation of children's right to access adequate treatment, the right to health of the children, the right to life, the right to be free from discrimination on the basis of race and social economic standing, and the right to dignity, freedom from torture, inhumane, and degrading treatment. Oh, and also, Renee has an adopted daughter, an adopted black daughter. So, they are asking for the organization to be closed and to cease operation in Uganda. They are also asking for general damages be awarded to the grieved families complaining herein. Okay, so this, I don't know if this is new as far as, it appears that she's still in Uganda, but this was in 2016 when they said that she located to a different area of Uganda. And she was supposed to be in court in March of 2019, but the case was delayed to 2020. So, this lady is going over to black countries and killing children, all in the name of helping someone. That I don't understand. And that directly correlates with the white savior complex, okay? It refers to a white person who acts to help non-white people with the help in some context perceived to be self-serving. Well, obviously, have you ever seen there was this picture going around on Twitter or on social media where this white woman had on this beautiful white wedding dress, and she was standing around all the natives in a brown skinned country, and basically, I mean, if you had common sense, you could see that she was saying, oh, look how pure I am, as opposed to the dirty conditions around me, okay? Now, what I don't understand is why? Why do you take matters into your own hands? And why don't you feel guilt? Why didn't you go to school and get a medical degree if you wanted to help people so badly? And there are so many U.S. missionaries that go over to these brown countries and nothing changes. Nothing changes. Or they do more harm than good. So now hundreds, not just 100, hundreds of families have lost their children because you want to fucking pretend to be Doc McStuffins or some shit. And your damn daughter. She has a black daughter. She has a black daughter. We don't know. Oh, Lord. Oh, Jesus. This brings me to the situation that happened in Ferguson after Mike Brown was murdered by Darren Wilson. There were tensions between the cops and the community, and there is this photo, you all can still look up the photo, of this black boy who is hugging a police officer. And he's hugging a police officer, and he has on a fedora, and he has tears in his eyes, and the story was seen as very powerful and a reach across the gap of racial inequality, or whatever you want to say, and showed that we are all the same and we all can just get along. But we later found out, and I don't know how long it was before we found out, that the photo was staged and that this boy was adopted. He was adopted by 2 white women, and he had other siblings. I don't know how many other siblings he had, but he did have other siblings who were also adopted by these white women. And it came out, this was in 2018, I'm looking up the story right now, that they were in a car crash along with his siblings, a 16-year-old, a 12-year-old, and I know he had more siblings than that, but it was a car crash that basically killed the whole family. Okay? No one knows why these people, the adopted parents, did what they did, but the boy was never found. His family was never found. His family's car drove off a 100-foot cliff in North California. It left no skid marks, and it killed 3 of his other siblings, and his parents, Jennifer and Sarah. There are so many stories of people, white people in particular, who may adopt a black child, who may go over to a black country, who may say that they have the best intentions in their heart. The road to hell is paved with good intentions. But then in the blink of an eye, 6 little children are dead. 6 kids are dead. How? We don't know. I don't know if there was ever an update to this story. And the story always just bothered me. It always bothered me. We know that the entire family perished during this tragedy. And they were all black. Oh, I'm sorry. One of them weren't black. One of them was Hispanic. So you're still, it makes no sense to me. It makes no sense why these people are able to get off scot-free. This woman, going back to Renee, this woman, fake ass Dr. Renee, this woman knows that this is something that she could and she did get away with for such a long time because she was in Uganda. The white privilege is so real, so everywhere, all across the country. All across the world, the white privilege is so real. And she's She's an American Christian missionary. Wow. Wow. I'm really shocked. I'm not shocked. There aren't a lot of things that shock me. The next story did shock me. But the fact that you continue to put children in harm's way, and this may stem back to a study that showed that white people on average don't look at black people. I'm not going to say people of color. I'm going to say black people. They don't look at them on the same level of human, if that makes sense. Basically, they can't read your emotions and expressions. So a white person is less likely to know if you're angry based on facial expression because they don't view you on the same level as another white person. Another study, a white person is less likely to stop for a black pedestrian than they are a white pedestrian. So it makes me wonder, the reason why you were so nonchalant in killing all of these children is because they were white. They weren't white. You wouldn't go to England and do that. You wouldn't go to Finland and do that. But it's so easy and so convenient for self-serving white people. Just like this reminds me of that story. Does anybody remember the story of the man who wanted to bring religion to the tribe that had never been, that had never had human contact and did not want human contact? This happened last year. And they killed him because basically he was on a self-serving mission. There was no need for you to go over and preach the gospel to these people. They don't want contact with the outside world. You know this and still go in spite of you knowing this, and then you end up dead. Leave people the fuck alone. And it's something deeply rooted in these people that do that they just can't leave people alone. They have. It's not even about helping yourself. It's not even about helping someone. It's helping yourself. Oh, I saved a lot of babies' lives over in Uganda. So you can get the praise and the admiration, and that people can look at you and say, oh, white lady saved us. Just like in all of the movies. I've never seen Braveheart, but I'm going to say Braveheart because I can't remember what the controversy of that movie is, but I know it's one, okay? All of the white savior movies that you see, they don't just come out of nowhere. Art imitates life. I'm done talking about this because I want to spend time on another story that not directly correlates how fucked up everything is, but kind of directly correlates. If bitch ass Renee had been in the United States, she would have never killed anyone. But if bitch ass Renee had been in the United States, then it would have directly correlated everything. It would have directly correlated everything that I'm going to talk about in this next story, okay? I got this from The Guardian, and It is about an Alabama woman, a 27-year-old Alabama woman who was charged for the death of her fetus when she was shot in the stomach by another person. Okay? Her name is Marshae Jones, and she was charged with manslaughter while the woman accused of shooting her walks free. Okay. A woman from Alabama who was shot in the stomach while pregnant with the bullets killing the fetus has been charged with manslaughter. Marshae Jones was reportedly 5 months pregnant when she was shot by another woman in December outside a shop in Pleasant Grove near Birmingham. On Wednesday, Jones was indicted by a Jefferson County grand jury on manslaughter charges and is expected to be held in Jefferson County Jail on a $50,000 bond, while the woman accused of shooting her walked free. Sounds like Trayvon Martin to me. Oh, I'm sorry. George Zimmerman. The case has raised alarm among pro-choice groups who say it is shocking evidence how the state's restrictive abortion laws are not being used against pregnant women. The investigation showed that the only true victim in this was the unborn baby. What about the victims? What was the number that I saw that more children had died this year than active military had died this year? 2,000 children. 2,300 children had died from gun violence. But we don't have gun laws. But this woman gets shot in the stomach by another woman, and she is charged with murder. It was the mother of the child who initiated and continued the fight, which resulted in the death of her own unborn baby. So what, we got reverse stand your ground laws? What is this? So this is different from George Zimmerman, because George Zimmerman is the one who attacked Trayvon Martin. So how did he get off? But this woman is going to jail because she started the fight, which then made the lady use excessive force and shoot her in the stomach. It makes so much sense, doesn't it? When you think about it. And this comes after Alabama Governor Kay Ivory, who is a white woman. You know what? I wish I could put a picture of this person on. But you know what? The reason why Kay Ivory is able to sign this abortion bill into play is because her ass got all her abortions. She's 97 years old. Well, she may not be 97, but she looks 97. So she's already got all of her private abortions from being knocked up from a whole bunch of people, you know? Because when you're rich, it doesn't matter. If you need an abortion, you're going to go get one. Sorry for the noise. Wow. And she signed the bill in May banning abortion in almost every circumstance, including rape and incest. There's a bottom line to these abortion laws. I don't feel comfortable talking about it, so I won't talk about it. But I really, really want everyone to do their research and really figure out why they have these abortion laws. Because it's a real reason. It's a real reason as to why they have these abortion laws. Wow. Anyway, Alabama is one of 38 states with fetal homicide laws that recognize a fetus as a potential victim. It is also a stand your ground state. which means people are allowed to use physical force to defend themselves if their reason is considered justifiable. So, if the reason was considered justifiable, did the fetus attack you? Because isn't the fetus seen as a viable life form? It's seen as a human, correct? It's not seen as a fetus, even though we're calling it a fetus and we call humans. The fetus is a human, right? Ain't that what y'all saying? So did the fetus attack her? Because if the fetus attacked her, then she should have shot the fetus, right? Because it's a stand your ground state, right? I'm just talking what y'all talking. So the fetus didn't do anything, but you killed the baby, and now this black woman is being charged with the death of her own baby. And as the dumbass sheriff said, or lieutenant said, the only true victim in this was the unborn baby, not the mother who now has lost her child and her freedom. No. The unborn baby that was an unborn baby. Wow. Marshae Jones was indicted for manslaughter for losing a pregnancy after being shot in the abdomen 5 times. Her shooter remains free. 5 times. 5 times. 5 times. 5 times. But I guess if you can shoot in somebody's windshield, 137 times? And that happened in Cleveland. Then I guess shooting a pregnant woman 5 times in the stomach is nothing. If you can go into a school and shoot kids that have already been born and that already have a life and already have a future ahead of them, then shooting a pregnant woman in the stomach 5 times is nothing. This is America. Yay. I'm so happy to live in this fucking country. I'm so happy. This is what happens when you don't vote. This is what happens when you don't vote. If you, and I don't, it doesn't matter what political party you are. I would assume that people know the difference between right and wrong. I would assume that people understand that you as a government should not be able to control what I do as an individual. But if you don't go out and vote, shit like this happens. It happens. You are not allowed to complain about the way things go. You're not. You don't just vote for president. You vote for House. You vote for Senate. And this is why things are fucked up. This is why we have people on the Supreme Court who don't lose their position. Brett Kavanaugh isn't just going to one day walk up and not be a fucking Supreme Court judge. This fucking man will be a Supreme Court judge until the day he fucking dies. And white men live really long for some reason. Why? Why? You know what? Speaking of a white man who is living really, really long for no fucking reason, let's talk about Donald Trump, okay? Donald Trump. Trump is accused of another sexual assault. Because, he had 15 counts or 21 counts. It could have been 15. It could have been 21. You know why I don't know? I know it's a double-digit number, though. I know that. This is what you all get. And I'm sorry, before I go on, because I don't have much time left. But I do want to say that all of the people, and I'm pretty sure that I hope that no bigots or racists are listening to the sound of my voice. But if you are, fuck you. That's what you deserve. It's what you deserve to have your benefits taken away. You poor white people are the reason why the rich white people are able to succeed. Because they got you wrapped up in the palm of their palm of their damn hand. And you're letting them. So they're going to strip you of all your rights. And you're going to be asked out. And the difference between a poor white and black people are that we've always been asked out. You've always tried to put us on the edge. And we've always succeeded. We still fucking here, ain't we? How long can you all last while the rich are tearing down the little bit of securities that you all have left? How? You won't. That's the thing. You won't. And you'll have no one to blame but yourself. Because you want to vote for a man that stands up for every racist ideology that you have. It's what you deserve. Moving on. I only have about 8 minutes, so I do want to talk about this. We have an author. Her name is Jean Carroll. She has accused Trump of sexual assault. She said, I think 25 years ago, he sexually assaulted her in a upscale department store dressing room. Okay. Donald Trump Jr. says that it's false, even though, were you there? The fuck? Shut your dumb ass up. What are you talking about? What happened was, she said that he pulled down her tights. Trump then denied it by saying that this woman is not my type. Because clearly, when someone accuses you of sexual assault, the first thing you do is say that they're not your type. Because that doesn't show any racist tendencies. I'm sorry, not racist. Rapist. I'm so sorry. I get it so confused sometimes. Rapist, racist, rapist, racist. It just rolls off the tongue just like you, Donald Trump. You're a rapist, racist. Oh, I'm so sorry. Allegedly. It's all alleged. Because Trump says she's totally lying. And he's never met her before. Even though there's a picture of them together. I'll say it with great respect. Number 1, she's not my type. Number 2, it never happened. It never happened, okay? Okay. Carroll says that Trump just went at it when he allegedly cornered her in a dressing room at Bergdorf Goodman, adding that he pulled down my tights and it was a fight. Trump says that she's totally lying. I don't know anything about her. I know nothing about this woman. I know nothing about her. It's just a terrible thing that people make statements like that. She also pointed out that Trump has denied all of the accusations from women who have accused him of sexual misconduct. It's crazy. So many people have accused him of sexual misconduct. Why? How are you even putting yourself in this position to be accused of sexual misconduct so many times? Wow. You know, I would say that this episode shows you that women are under attack. But I am a black person before I'm a woman. And it's clear that there is a difference between black women and white women and the way that they're treated. Case in point, Kay, whatever the fuck her last name is, governor of Alabama, signing in this bill when you have a whole uterus. You should at least know how everything works, but you don't. Case in point, Renee Bach, a white woman who can go over to an African country and kill children. Case in point, Marshae Jones, a black woman who was shot in the stomach 5 times, losing her child, and now she could be going to jail for manslaughter. There's a difference. There's a difference. There's always been a difference. I don't know if there always will be a difference, but there still is a difference. And I don't know. All of these laws, all of these new laws that are in place only further hurt women of color. That's it. That's it. Because studies will show that the demographic that gets abortions the most are Latin and black people. And that's not true. You know, there are private abortion clinics which keep their information private. So, you know. But I'm so sorry that this episode was very all over the place. But it's just, it really makes me sad. There are so many things going on and going wrong at so many at the same time that is so hard to process everything. So hard to process everything. It's so hard to I don't know. But you all, I'm here. I'll tell you how I feel about anything, whether you like it or not. This has been another episode of the Awkwardly Acceptable Podcast. Season 2, camera is back. And the Awkwardly Acceptable Podcast is now on Sundays. So if you stayed all the way to the end, I love you very much. Thank you all so much for listening to me rant about appropriate things that you all should be mad about too. Okay? Okay. So without any further ado, I'm going to play you all off the air with a song called 2 Weeks. If you were here for season 1 of the Awkwardly Acceptable Podcast, you have heard this song before. If you are just joining me, this is your first time, I want you all to enjoy this song. And if you like the song, you can find it nowhere. But if you all want to find it somewhere, let me know and I'll put it up. So, I love you all. Thank you, everyone who is watching, who is listening to me on Apple Music, on Spotify, on iTunes, on Spreaker, on YouTube. Everyone who's listening to a snippet of me. I just really appreciate it, okay? And I'll be back and more consistent than ever. So without any further ado, hold on. God damn it. Y'all, I'm trying to play my damn music and it wouldn't let me. Anyway, I'm gone. Bye. so strange how things change, never stay the same. I've seen days rearrange, it's driving me insane. Just try and pick my brain. Little time to explain. It's so strange how you act. Gone, you win. Tried to stay